Hello everybody and welcome back to the Record of Ragnarok character overviews. Today we'll be doing Thor, the god of thunder from the Norse mythology. We'll kind of be going over his appearance, his role in the story, his powers, all the great stuff, and all the stuff you need to know to kind of get into the series. Again, I'll put out a spoiler warning. I try to put in a spoiler warning for all my videos because I don't really omit any of that kind of stuff. I go over what I know, and what I know is a lot of spoilers. So be warned before I hop into this, I will be talking about story-sensitive stuff. But with that out of the way, let's just get right into the overview.
Why do I feel like I linger between the words to say the words to remember?
So, where to begin with this guy? I guess we could just start at the basics. Of course, this is Thor, the Norse god of thunder that, everyone knows about from the MCU, Chris Hemsworth's character. And he is regarded in this manga, at least, or in this fictional universe, as the strongest Norse god. Usually that'd be Odin, but we haven't really seen much of him except he, disintegrated some flowers. But in any case, Thor is apparently the strongest. And true to form, he wields his mighty hammer Mjolnir, which is, bigger than, two guys stacked on top of each other. The thing is massive. And of course, as I gave my spoiler warning, I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. He was the victor of the first round of Ragnarok. He was the first ever winner of a match in Ragnarok, and he took the first victory for the gods. He basically fought and killed Lubu in the first round. He smeared his face on the pavement, as you guys can go and see in my Lubu overview. He didn't really get a lot of spotlight there, but we did get a little bit of backstory for both of them, and Lubu's got his own spin-off manga. Thor seems pretty cool, and I hope to see more of him in the future. He's a very interesting character. Again, he's another one that kind of reminds me a lot of Kenpachi and Yujiro, and of course Lubu himself, but we'll get into that later. For now, I'll talk about his design. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fuck with this design. It's actually really cool. I like his long red hair. I'm actually a redhead myself, so, kinship right there. There's my brother. But yeah, I really dig, the long red hair. I don't really know what the appeal to it is, but it seems kind of cool, It kind of reminds me of Rias Grimmery, I mean, that's hot, but no homo. I also thought his eyes were really cool. He's got the yellow eyes, and, that's pretty neat, but the fact that he has, the black sclera, I think that's kind of cool. I always liked that about Majin Buu. I felt like that was a very intimidating part of his design. He had the red eyes, which it's very spooky, but the fact that his sclera is black, it makes the red in his eyes pop more. It makes him seem more intimidating, more dangerous, and I kind of felt that same feeling with Thor. It makes the yellow pop. It's very interesting, and I thought it was a very good design choice. I gotta say, he's probably one of my favorite designs in the whole tournament. And I gotta say, his design is at least an 8 out of 10 for me, maybe even possibly a 9. So I'll just quickly discuss the personality, because it's very similar to Lubu. When you look at it, they're both Blood Knights, they're both berserkers, they love to fight. They basically, their whole lives revolve around battle. They're the Vanguards, they're the strongest, that's basically their whole deal. And very similarly to Kenpachi, with Lubu also being this similar case, their whole lives, they're completely dedicated to finding somebody to give them a real good fight. Thor was happy he got to have a good fight and defeat Lubu. Lubu was even happy dying because he died fighting a very strong opponent that overcame him. They're crazy like that. Although I will say that both Kenpachi and Lubu are more similar in the sense that they're kind of spastic, sporadic, and kind of crazy all over the place, and very, high octane, very exciting. Whereas Thor, other than when he has found, a worthy opponent that he can really flex his muscles and strut his stuff, he's kind of stoic, doesn't really show a whole lot of emotion, seems cold and distant, kind of gives off, Levi vibes, kind of like that doesn't really have any emotions, doesn't really show any emotions at the very least kind of deal. But if you can get him in a really good fight, you know, we see him smiling, we see him having a good time. So that's a very interesting thing about his character. I feel like that's a kind of cool dichotomy in his character, how he's basically emotionless for most of his life, but like in his true like peak of happiness and like the height of battle, you know, he really lets himself go. He really starts enjoying himself. And finally, as for his, you know, powers and what abilities he has as the strongest Nordic god, supposedly the Vanguard of the gods, of course he has immense strength. He was able to kill the World Serpent, Jormungandr. He was able to kill 66 giants by himself. He's able to use Mjolnir, which is like massive. And of course, as the God of Thunder, which this never really sat right with me, why the God of Thunder can control lightning, seeing as thunder is the sound that lightning makes. So technically the God of Thunder should be able to manipulate sound, but nonetheless, that's semantics. I'm being pedantic. Yeah, he has the ability to control electricity. We see him use that a couple of times. It never really manifests in a way where he like shoots a lightning bolt at somebody or he does anything like that. He mostly just uses it to amp Mjolnir and make it stronger and like blow up in electricity, but he does have that ability as the God of Thunder. He of course has his techniques that he uses, such as Thor's hammer, Gerod, and when he combines the two techniques, Gerod, Thor's hammer. I'll go over Thor's hammer first. I'm quoting exactly here. Thor's signature move and instant kill technique. Thor arches his back downwards, making it seem as if he is falling, and stays in that position, frozen until he unleashes a swift blow in a combination with his lightning power with great force. He used this against the Jotun back in the ancient era, and once again on Lu Bu. That was the move, Thor's hammer, that Lu Bu was able to slash Thor's chest before it was able to connect, and everybody was shocked by that. And that's the same move he used to basically annihilate the giants that he was fighting back in the day. Those are the 66 Jotun, the 66 giants I was talking about before. Then we have Gerod, the ultimate killing blow. Thor flings Mjolnir into the air with all of his might and retrieves it, adding on great velocity and centrifugal force before finally slamming it down onto his opponent. It was first used against Jormungandr. So basically this is the move he supposedly used to kill the World Serpent, and this was also the move, if you guys remember, that he used to completely shatter Lu Bu's legs. You know, Lu Bu was able to block the attack, but the force traveled through his body, shattering his legs at the base, which is basically where all the force would have welled up because it can't travel into the ground. It would have been stopped at the ground and blown up at his ankles. Yeah, I mean, we don't really see him throw it into the air and retrieve it per se. He throws it at Lu Bu. Lu Bu is able to dodge it, and upon it returning to Thor, he then uses the centrifugal force of the throw, brings it back around and down onto Lu Bu. So, of course, it is similar to the description, but really it's kind of part of a follow-up in case his hammer that never misses, for once, misses. But yeah, it's a very powerful technique. I can see why they describe it as the ultimate killing blow. It definitely fucked up Lu Bu, that's for sure. And finally, the combination of supposedly an instant kill technique and the ultimate killing blow, whatever the fuck that means, Gerod's Thor's hammer. Thor combines his two most powerful techniques to form his ultimate attack. He uses this technique to destroy Lu Bu alongside his strongest move, Sky Eater. Yeah, at the very end of the fight, they basically clash these two techniques, Sky Eater versus Gerod Thor's hammer, and the winner, of course, is Thor with Gerod Thor's hammer. He's able to surpass the Sky Eater and basically tear apart Lu Bu's body. He's missing limbs, but he's still alive at this point, so he goes in to try to attack Thor, you know, bite him to death, basically, and he's like, I know I'm gonna die here, but this is like dying in the heart of battle against a stronger opponent is my dream. So he charges in and he bites the big one and he becomes a flat-headed person. But yeah, other than that, those are his powers, that's his personality, that's my take on his appearance. The only thing really left to discuss is his items. You know, we kind of went over Randgriz for Lu Bu. We talked about how she's the shield breaker, the sky piercer, the Volund, you know, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, we'll do the same thing for Thor. He has actually two pieces of equipment. He has his Mjolnir hammer, of course, the famous hammer of Thor, the God of Thunder. And he has Yarngraper, which is unique to Rickard of Ragnarok, if I'm remembering correctly, and it's his gauntlets that he wears. So we'll start with Mjolnir. Thor's primary weapon. A massive hammer that is claimed to be one of heaven's strongest weapons. Due to being a divine weapon, Mjolnir is stronger than any man-made weapon, that probably include nuclear and hydrogen bombs. With Mjolnir, Thor can kill 66 Jotuns by himself and defeat the world serpent Jormungandr. Despite being a weapon, Mjolnir was actually a living creature. We could actually see that when it, produced veins and started pulsating when it awoke. When it was awake, the hammer began to have veins and start to pulsate. You see, there it is. In that state, the hammer was so hot that the imbued orichalcum surrounding it melted like lava. Yeah, we saw it produce that massive amount of heat and start melting things around it. And finally, we'll finish off with his gauntlets, Járngreipr. A pair of gloves that Thor wears on both hands, capable of withstanding any attack. According to the legend, Thor must wear Járngreipr to protect his hands from the heat of Mjolnir. This is a misunderstanding. Járngreipr's purpose was to protect Mjolnir prior to its awakening from the weight of Thor's swing. So Thor is so strong he needs Járngreipr not to destroy Mjolnir when he attacks. In the battle with Lubu, the glove on his right hand was smashed into pieces by Lubu's Skypiercer, which is of course his Voland, Rangriz. The left glove was then thrown away and destroyed by Thor himself as he was about to pick up the awakened Mjolnir. That's when shit started getting serious. Thor started busting out the real powerful moves, which eventually led to the death of little old Lubu. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like the video. I hope you, show your support for the video and the content if this is something you enjoy. Comment about which gods you want me to cover next. I actually have a schedule, like a plan of how I want to tackle this series and their characters, but of course I'm always willing to go off course if somebody makes a suggestion or something, or if you want to suggest a human, that's fine too. I can cover them as well. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be here for further videos, and hit that notification bell if you want to be updated on videos releasing. They should be releasing every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm not exactly, consistent at all, so I wouldn't hold your breath on it. So yeah, again, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next character overview, or whatever video I make. Peace.
I bet you don't